All right, Stuff the Dreams Are fans. I don't know if anyone thinks of themselves as Stuff the Dreams Are fans, but I'm here at the LA headquarters of Propstore with the one and only Brandon Allinger, longtime friend of the show.
Hey Dave,
Hi, Brandon. How are
good to
you?
see you. I didn't know that there was an abbreviated title now.
Yeah.
Made of was like too much. You were like,
Yes.
okay, you
Stuff the
truncated
Dreams
it.
Of. Yeah.
Okay.
But honestly, or SDAMO,
Okay.
Sadamo.
Yeah.
Yeah, which that just rolls off the tongue. Yeah. But we're here. We've got the huge Prop Store Entertainment Memorabilia Live Auction coming to you March 12th, 13th, and 14th. Huge first day, then second and third day with a little bit of the slightly smaller stuff, not teeny tiny, but slightly smaller stuff, but really, really cool. And this is exciting because this year, this is your first of 3 a year. You've been on a 2 a year schedule, one LA, one London, but now for the first time, 2 LA, one London, 3 a year. Why the change? Let's start with that.
I think we just wanted to have them spaced throughout the year, and we wanted to make the offerings, in smaller increments. And so they're more frequent. They're going to be slightly smaller catalogs than they were in the past.
I
And
love that they're a little smaller. I felt like they're a
good.
little more digestible, like in your head, just in your head. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm less like, oh my God, I forgot about something, which sort of happens sometimes when they get monstrous. So I'm a big fan of that part of it.
It also
Yeah,
means if you're on the other side, if you're selling, you don't have to wait quite as long. We're
that
going to
makes
have
sense.
an
Yeah.
auction that's coming up in the very near future that we can get your content into, as opposed to having to ask you to wait perhaps 6 months or
I think
something.
that
So,
makes
so
total
yeah,
sense.
for a couple of different reasons, we feel good about it, and we enjoy the auctions. We have fun, especially these auctions. They're our biggest auctions of the year, so to get to do 3 of them rather than 2, it should be
Not a
enjoyable.
bad thing. Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
Right.
Well, this one is truly jam-packed, despite being a little bit smaller. And the thing to start with, which I think a lot of our fans are really interested in, is there's more stuff from the Anthony Daniels collection. And if he were here himself, I'm sure he would regale us with one of his wonderful stories that he tells over and over and over and over and over again. But he's not here, and we will just simply jump into some of these items. There was, in the previous UK auction, there was a Star Wars C-3PO helmet that was really cool, and obviously from Star Wars it had the dent in the head from Star Wars, but it had been replated, which was something that I think fans went back and forth on. Prop collectors I think had a lot of different opinions. This from Anthony Daniels is a Return of the Jedi C-3PO helmet in its full-on original condition. And I just have to say, being one of the people that didn't love the plating, and I'm not asking you to say anything, I realize you need to be agnostic. Let's just, forgetting about the other one, this looks fucking fantastic. The age, the weathering, this is what I want my C-3PO to look like. This screen matches to some of the redwood sections
Yeah, that's
of
right.
the
Yes.
Ewoks and
Yeah, I
whatnot.
mean, you can literally see like the buildup in this acrylic paint or wax or whatever the
Love
building
that,
spray is.
love
You
that.
can see every little bit of it, just like a fingerprint. There's little chips on the edges back here that you see exactly. So no question,
And so
this
that
is a
you
used
don't
helmet.
buy my fingerprints on it, we're putting on the gloves. Get gloves on a little bit. Very exciting. I have a garage full of gloves from basically when we all thought you had to like wash your groceries and your mail, basically.
Right.
Like when I couldn't get like Purell or masks, I just bought gloves when I just kept clicking on buy gloves. And now I have nothing left but gloves. And other than occasionally cooking poultry, I have no use for them. So if you need rubber gloves, not from any Star Wars movie, reach out to Stuff Dreams Are Made Of, okay?
Contest giveaway.
Yeah, this thing is incredible, and I'm gonna pick it up like this.
Yeah.
It's light, so it's made out of
Fiberglass. Really
fiberglass.
thin
Yeah,
fiberglass,
really
just
thin.
like the other one.
Which, as and I don't know, do you think it got a little thinner? Because they did work to try and make it a little more comfortable for him as the movies went. I don't know if if weight was ever an issue, but come on in here, look at this. It's got the neck ring on it, right? Was that what they call that, the
Yep.
neck ring?
Neck ring.
Love that. The bolts, we got the 2 bolts on either side, which is fabulous. Basically, it kind of, forgive me, comes apart kind of there, right? That's sort of the split, front and the
Yes,
back.
exactly.
These are the original eyes in there, and you've
Yep.
got them hooked up to like you've put a battery in or something
Yeah, I mean
to
it's
basically,
the original electronics, so we
Oh,
don't
wow.
run it for too long. But those are the original lights,
Love
and then
that.
there's like a sheet of black vinyl that sits in there behind that to keep from him going
Blinding
blind
him,
by
yes,
the light
exactly.
bulbs, and just the teeny tiny little brass hole about the diameter of a pencil that he
He sort of saw
sees
through,
through.
basically a
Yeah,
pinhole that he
yeah,
saw through.
challenging.
Yeah, just wild.
But the
And just
finish is just the
the
finish is
finish,
the best
yeah, I
part,
mean, I
really.
don't know, come on in as close as you can, Bart, without, I don't know, reflecting yourself, but I mean, I just love the age. I love the finish on that. I just think it's just really wonderful. I am a huge fan of this
And I think
piece.
the
Yeah,
reason they put that on there is so that they didn't have to deal with reflections and
right.
camera crews reflecting back.
You're talking about just the dirt and
Yeah,
whatnot.
at the
Yes,
time it was
exactly.
just
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
he's too shiny, then it's
Right.
problematic for production. But this is a real archival example because obviously there are some C-3PO helmets in the George Lucas collection, but most of those were refinished for the
Right.
prequels. So I don't know if there's any others out there that are in their truly original condition
Yeah,
like
and
this.
just and every piece there. I mean, obviously, in the auction, we should say there are a lot of there are some other there are some neck
Yes.
bolts that are there. So pieces exist. So certainly, if this was say missing neck bolts, you could have put it together. But there is something really quite lovely about the fact that Anthony kept this one perfectly together and kind of like untouched. I sort of just love that. Yeah.
And just the fact that that it was in the redwoods, which was
Yeah.
one of the very last things they did on Jedi, you can
So
just
it was
kind of
kind of the
see it's
end,
like
and he was just like,
exactly. It's exactly. It's just I need something to remember these
yeah.
films by, and it's literally and it lives in the state today that it was in then in
He'd
1982.
forgotten he'd already kept the other one
Right.
because it was so many years later, and he was like, I really should get a helmet. Took it home
Oh,
and then went, oh wait, I have two.
he's a
Yeah,
completist
yeah,
with dent, without dent.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. I love it. It is gorgeous. So how do you turn the actual battery off?
there is just a switch that we just have
Oh,
hanging
you
out the
kind of
back
just
of it.
kind of
I
did
think
that,
it's
like,
just tucked
okay,
up in there.
gotcha.
So the switch,
All
I
right.
think, is more modern,
Yes,
but
of
the
course.
lighting, the wiring,
All
all
the
that is
wiring is
original.
full
Yeah.
original wiring.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just obsessed with the eyes. Just everything is there, which is just wonderful. Any markings inside that we could know
Yes.
about?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
number. I think it's number 5.
Oh, cool.
So they had at least 5 for Return of the
Wonderful.
Jedi.
I love that.
But again, it is screen matched. And it's also possible, we've matched it specifically to the Redwood scenes. It may have
Maybe
been
used
used
elsewhere too. Yes, of
exactly
course.
because they may have redone this finish.
Right.
This is kind of how it was left, but it's possible that earlier on when they're shooting at
Yeah.
Elstree Studios, they
Right.
had
And
a
then they chose
different
to
coat on.
dirty this one or
Yeah.
whatever they did.
Yeah.
No, it makes total sense. Just really incredible. Days 1 and 2, March 12th, 13th. There's almost probably 100 lots from Anthony
Yeah, I think there's
Daniels.
over 100.
Yeah, over 100 lots from
A lot
Anthony
of material.
Daniels. Check it all out. And come back for another video with more from the Propstore auction, the big entertainment memorabilia auction, March 12th, 13th, 14th. All new episodes of The Stuff Dreams Are Made Of are available now wherever you get your podcasts.